Welcome to video number 8 of the Getting Started series, in which we're going to talk about the options in the tools menu. To get started, we're going to use a worksheet where I have included some information regarding the tool menu. The tool menu has options, plugins, snippet manager, and then options. And that one options includes two type of options, the interface option and the calculation options. In the interface option, you have the interface language. Currently, it's all in English. You can change your language to whatever language you want. For example, in Portuguese, you will get, when you say OK, you get your menus changed to arquivo, editar, ver, inserir, cálculo, serviço, páginas de ajuda. I'm going to go back to servicio, which is tools, and go to options, which is options, and scroll up to find English is one of the tops up there to get back to English. Tools, options, unit language. There are only 4 options here. I believe English Russian is the second one, Dutch is German, Dansk is Danish. And so if you are in an English-speaking country, you keep everything in English. Even for those who speak Spanish, we will do it in English also. Function styles, world and Europe. This is an interesting situation. And look, currently is set up a word. So if you open the function pad here and look at trigonometric function, you're going to get like a cos, a tan. Okay, that's the world style. Now let's go back to tools, options, function style, Europe, and let's look at the trigonometric functions. And you get arc, cosec, arc, cos. That's the only difference from acos to arccos. And that is the difference between world and European style. Basically, let's go back here and return to the world style. Decimal symbol in English and Spanish speaking countries, the period is the decimal symbol. Sometimes the comma. I never used to see the semicolon, but you could use it as a decimal symbol. Argument separator refers to how you're going to separate arguments in a function if you have more than 2 arguments, 2 or more, sorry. With a comma is the most common way. Sometimes you can use a period or a semicolon. We'll leave it at a comma. Font size refers to the default font size. Text color arrow basically means black color for most cases. And text background color arrow also means white. Document layout, pages view. This has to do with the 3 different type of views available, which are pages view, printing no bounds, and printing bounds. Page view is what you have right now. No bounds means oops. There's another video. I'm just gonna keep it in page view, where I show you how to use these options down here. That have the options, pages view, printing bounds, and no bounds. So at this point, we're just going to ignore that part. And so in options interface, you get information here, and here are some examples. Changing the first language, we did it already. They're not changing his language, there's no need to. We mentioned the difference between cosine and cosine. Changing the decimal symbol, argument separator, comma is the most common one, font size, and so on. We're going to skip that one. And then let's look at the option calculations. And this includes decimal places. That's the standard number of decimal places. Exponential threshold. So let's look at decimal places. Say you write 2/3 equal, and then you click on the right hand side and do a right click in your mouse, and then you get decimal places 4 is the default, but you can change it only for this thing in here and say 10. If you change it in the options, everything will be changed for the calculations. If you change it in the menu that shows up when you do a right click here, as I did with the decimal places, then you can just change this particular location. All right, so let's look at examples of the option calculation. We had change decimal places, exponential threshold. Exponential threshold means that if you have 5 zeros then or more, then it will go for exponential, like 100,000. If you say 100,000 equals 1 times 10 to the 5. This will also go 10 to the 11. But suppose that I change that to an exponential threshold of say 10. In that case, this one, if I recalculate it, remember we had it 10 to the 6. Well, let's see if it doesn't look like it changed that option. Well, it's not making a difference. So let's just keep it as 5. Our exponential threshold as 5. Trailing zeros disable had to do with whether you're going to see a bunch of zeros in here or not. Significant figures mode, I cannot figure out what that means. Neither fractions, neither result there are multiple values, neither integral accuracies. Root range means that it's going to find ranges in the -20 to 20 range. And for example, if I do that here, let me check on that options. Calculation. Actually, I have changed it to -100 to +100. In reality, the original setup is this one, and so if you keep that, it wouldn't give me the third result in here. But if I change it to -100 to +100, then it gives me all the results. So this is something that if you're looking for a solution that's in the neighborhood of 0, like -10 to +10 or something like that, then you keep that for solve. If not, change it to -100 to +100 or something like that. And so some of those things are not something that you need to worry much about. As a matter of fact, with the next dynamic assistance menu, which is available when you right click to the right hand side, you get the dynamic assistant. You can change the optimization, symbolic and numeric, decimal places, exponential threshold, fractions, and rounding in situ instead of changing the options in the tool menu. And so these are things that you want to explore on your own, but they're not much relevant. I think the default options are good enough for most of the calculations you're going to make. And for that reason, this will be the end of this particular video.